straight. You say you're the caretaker of the building?
What do you got for me, Williams?
Break-in, homicide.
That's the fifth one this week. Must be a gang war.
This one's a little different, Chief.
Why? What'd they get?
His brain.
What?
That's all they took.
His brain. Holy shit.
He had $1,000 in his pocket.
Holy shit.
Broker, Barber, George Barber. We're running a background check.
Where's the top of his head?
Right here, Chief.
Would they use a skill saw?
There are no abrasions.
Can you get any money for a brain?
Not that I know of.
Check all the hospitals, especially the university clinic. Give me that background check as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. What are you doing?
Thinking. Running over some possibilities.
Have fun.
Do you mind if I sit here?
No, go ahead.
Did you see that article about the magnetized babies?
No.
What about those missing brains?
What paper was this in?
The National Enquirer.
I don't read the Enquirer.
Well, I do. Sometimes. For a joke. Those guys have some imagination. I'm George.
Joyce.
I've seen you somewhere before.
I don't think so.
Are you from the city?
I grew up in a little northern town. You probably wouldn't have heard of it.
What's it called?
Novar.
Really? I grew up there too.
What part of Novar?
East Lake. Right out near the filling station.
You went to school there?
Sure.
What did you say your name was?
George Barber.
It's funny, I don't remember you.
Well, I looked, very different back then.
You must have. There were only 100 people in the high school.
I remember you. You used to swim in the regatta. You could hold your breath longer than anyone. Do you work around here?
I teach at the university.
Neurology?
That's right. How did you know?
Just a feeling.
What do? Read minds?
No, I advise companies on the risks of investing in various countries.
You must travel a lot.
I've been everywhere. You're very beautiful.
Oh, please.
You should have been a model.
Well, that's the last thing I would want to do.
Do you ever think you might have done something different?
No.
Why not?
When people think of their lives as being different, they always make the most trivial changes. If only I'd been to that party or taken that job. They never say, if only I'd had two brains or been able to photosynthesize my food. It's as if they think the smaller changes are more likely to have occurred, that God might have overlooked them. How could anything be different from what it is?
But surely, you've wished you could do things over.
You only have one life. Why waste it dreaming about things that could never have happened?
Well, do you ever fantasize when you make love?
What?
I mean, yeah, surely, you know, you must use your,
No.
something. I don't believe in promiscuity.
Neither do I. I've got to get back to the lab.
How about a show tomorrow night?
I'm working.
What about the weekend?
I'm going to Novar.
Well, maybe I'll see you here again.
I doubt it.
How long have you known the victim's wife?
Less than a month?
And how would you describe your relationship?
I barely knew her.
3 days ago, you gave her a present. Glass bowl.
It was a token of admiration.
Williams. Williams. Sorry, I'm late. Okay, let's ready
Find out if they know each other, what they have in common. We found another body.
Same?
Yes.
What's this?
Companies that work on the brain. I ask you to look into this.
I was interviewing a suspect.
What suspect?
The man who gave Mrs. Barber this present.
Williams, suppose the man you were talking to was having an affair with the wife.
Yes.
And he killed the husband.
Yes.
Why would he remove the victim's brain?
I have a few other leads.
Good.
Shit. George Barber? You used to work for Merrill Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Parford recommended you highly. He said that you were uncanny.
Well, Mr. Parfit is a nice man.
I'm going to read you some questions. Something we do with all our applicants. Some of them involve some math that you may not be familiar with. Don't worry if you can't answer them all.
Thank you.
They were developed by a philosopher at Harvard, Eric Goodman. Does the name ring a bell?
No?
Made a fortune teaching ethics to bankers.
He sounds like a very interesting man.
Yeah. These questions involve some numbers. You're allowed to use a calculator.
Oh, that's all right.
A pharmaceutical company called Genentech introduces a new treatment for Alzheimer's. Shortly after, it is found to cause irreversible hair loss. The affected patients file a class action lawsuit. The value of Genentech falls by over 50%. You're then offered an option to buy 150,000 shares of Genentech at $35 a share. If the lawsuit is settled out of court, you stand to make a 60% return. If it goes to trial, you lose $1 million. Now, George, you can pay the vice president of Genentech $500,000 to tell you if they've settled. But there's only a 78.2% chance he'll tell you the truth if they settled, and only a 49% chance if they haven't. As far as you know, there's a 63% chance that they have settled. Do you pay the vice president?
No.
Why not?
It's a trick question.
What do you mean?
Well, using the numbers you gave me, it's worth buying no matter what he says.
You did the sums in your head?
Yes.
The next question will be a little more difficult. Do you want some paper?
No.
You own a pharmaceutical company. Your staff has just manufactured a new batch of acne pills. Normally, they test them by feeding them to 100 rats and observing how many die. From their previous experience, they have a good idea of how many rats will die if the batch is defective. Unfortunately, due to an irregularity in manufacturing this particular batch,
Can I sit here?
Sure.
This place has gotten pretty popular.
Yes.
5 years ago, when I first started selling stocks, nobody would come here. It was too seedy then. You don't know me, but I saw you coming out of Carson's office this afternoon. Jumping ship?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Great.
I guess you're celebrating.
Guess so.
You don't seem too thrilled.
Not.
I've heard about you. You're very good. Why the change? Money?
No.
Sure. Give yourself a few years, you'll just be like everybody. What's so funny?
I am everybody.
What's that? Some kind of private joke?
I could have all the money I want.
Couldn't we all?
I know things.
Well, don't tell me. I've had enough of that kind of information.
Now, this isn't the type of information that they can prosecute you for.
Who's your source?
I am. I know everything.
What's my name?
Joyce.
That's easy. Everybody here knows me. You were staring at me the other night.
Do you believe in other lives?
Past lives?
No, I mean lives going on right now.
Like being in two places at once?
No more than two. A lot more. I'm talking about possible worlds. Each of us exist in an infinite number of possible worlds. I mean, in one world, I'm talking to you right now, but your arm is a little to the left. And in another world, you're interested in that man over there. The glasses. And in another, you stood me up 2 days ago. And that's how I know your name.
So, when did you first decide you were more than one person?
In another life.
Oh?
7th grade.
Must have been puberty.
No, it was math. I was writing a math test in the 7th grade, and I was stuck on the last problem. I could see 2 ways of doing it, but I wasn't sure which way would work. Halfway through my calculations, I suddenly saw myself doing the problem the other way. Only I wasn't just seeing myself. For a moment, I was actually doing the problem the other way. And I looked at my hand. I saw a scar. I remembered how I'd gotten it. I remembered the dog that had bitten me. Only I'd never been bitten by a dog.
How old are you?
41.
How many lovers have you had?
That I can remember?
Yes.
Billions.
Let's go.
Make way. Make way. Back. Come on.
Would you like to see the animals?
Yes, thank you.
This is a citation I received for my work on primate nervous systems.
What's this?
My tank.
Your tank?
My sensory deprivation chamber. I spend a lot of time in there. Not something my colleagues are too keen about.
What's this?
The brain of a rat. Right now, it thinks it's pressing a lever for some food. That's why the light flashed. Every time it flashes, the apparatus sends an electrical impulse to make it think it's been rewarded.
Do you mind if I take this in?
That's all right. I've got dozens of them.
Dozens?
Some biologists believe that natural processes create a field of information. Everything you think, Inspector, even the most trivial fantasy leaves a trace, a disturbance in that field. I'm trying to learn how to control those disturbances.
Do you have any brains of larger animals?
Like humans. I read the papers, Inspector. You think I'm stealing brains?
Some people might think that your research is a little frightening.
The question is, why do we have imaginations? A rat can only imagine so much. It's limited by the structure of its brain. Creatures like us that can anticipate possible futures and make contingency plans have an evolutionary advantage. We'd be foolish not to use our imaginations.
What can you use a brain for?
Oh, a lot of things. I'm sure you've got some ideas.
All of the people who were killed were very intelligent, in positions of power. I think that someone's extracting information from them.
Maybe. But there are other possibilities. I think you should consider every possibility, even aliens.
Morning, Chief.
Yeah.
Been going through the Axon files. I've asked Johnson to look into some of these expenditures. Turns out that 2 of our victims work for rival drug companies.
All right, good.
What's that?
It's a present for my wife.
What does it do?
Doesn't do anything.
Is it some kind of lamp?
It isn't a present. It's the brain of a rat.
Is it alive?
It's a she. Her name is Louise.
What do you suppose she's thinking about right now? Another rat? A normal person thinks about sex every 2 minutes. Think it's the same with rats? What if we were in a tank like that? You'd never know it.
Not you.
Maybe someone's making us think whatever they want us to. Maybe that's why all those brains are being stolen. Maybe somebody's already stolen ours.
Why would anyone want your brain, Williams? What do you think about in the normal course of a day? Your wife, your house, hockey? I mean, why would anyone want to steal your brain to make you think of hockey all the time? What's the motivation?
You tell me.
Do you mind if I sit here?
No, go ahead.
There's no place else.
That's fine.
Did you see the article about the magnetized babies?
What paper was... Oh.
I haven't seen you here in a while.
I've been eating at the lab.
You must be very busy.
I am.
What do you do, exactly?
I'm looking for ways to increase intelligence.
Maybe you could help me.
I specialize in rat cortexes.
Must be very interesting.
It's not just that. One day we will be able to dial and focus our nervous systems the way we adjust our TVs. There will be drugs to extend our lives, to increase our intelligence, drugs to erase unpleasant memories. People will look back on the present age with pity. We'll seem like animals to them.
How's the dessert? What?
At the cafeteria, they serve 3 different kinds of dessert. Chocolate pudding, some kind of sponge cake, and fruit salad. I decided one day that whenever I got to the counter, I wouldn't think. I would always take fruit salad. Kept it up ever since. 5 years.
Don't you think that's a little fanatical?
Probably.
I remember you at school. Always carrying books.
I read all the time. You don't say much about yourself.
Not much to tell, really. You know, my wife used to say...
Your wife?
She died several years ago. It was an accident.
I'm sorry.
It was after she died that I started to travel.
You must have lived a very interesting life.
No, not really. I usually find myself in a deck chair by the water. I love summer evenings by the water. I like it at dusk. And the water has that gray tint that seems to contain every other color.
It figures
What?
that you'd like gray.
Suppose you like black and white?
I've always thought there should be a single clear answer to every question.
Even in love?
Especially in love. I don't trust people who fall in love over and over. They're usually the worst liars.
You're right. I never understood people who say, I used to be in love with that person. Don't think you ever stop loving. If you did, you weren't in love in the first place.
Got to get back to the lab.
How about dinner Thursday?
I have to work late.
If you weren't so busy, would you go out with me?
If I wasn't so busy, I'd be a different person.
Listen, give me a chance. I've never met anyone like you. And I've met a lot of people.
Call me.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'd like to welcome you to the Consciousness Revolution. The theme of our first session is imagination. Imagination rules the world. Do you have any idea who said that? Napoleon said that. He used to go through all his battles in his mind weeks before he fought them. We're going to do some exercises for our imaginations. We'll start with a visualization exercise, which I'd like you to score. As I ask you to imagine things, assign yourself points as follows. 3 points if the image is very clear. 2 points, clear. 1 point, unclear, and 0 if you can't imagine anything. All right. Are we ready? You can close your eyes if you want. Imagine a cold wind when it is raining. Picture the eyes of someone you love. Hear their voice.
Hey, wake up. I'm just making some coffee. It's late. I hope you don't have anything important to do today.
What time is it?
10.
What's that sound?
Coffee. I said, I'm making coffee. Is something wrong?
It's my head.
You're hungover.
No.
Do you want some aspirin?
No, I'm fine. Sorry. You going to answer it?
No, it's probably my office.
What if they fire you?
I hate my job.
Why?
I've never felt comfortable selling things you can't see or touch.
What do you sell exactly?
Stocks.
You work for Kaufman Brothers?
What's the matter with you? You weren't that drunk last night.
Where were you born?
Right here.
I thought you said Novar.
I think you have me mixed up with someone else. I'm not usually so aggressive in bars. But you looked so lonely. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who looked so alone in my life. Except for some married men I know. You're not married, are you?
My wife died 3 years ago.
I'm sorry.
She was swimming in the ocean. She must have gone out too far. Are you interested in a relationship?
I get restless.
Restless?
I like to forget myself. I love to take chances. I've made a lot of money that way. You shouldn't get involved with me. I'm not very reliable.
There's a moment when my consciousness shifts. I feel my properties melting. Everything I've ever known or felt or nothing holds. It's terrible. But after a few moments, I become adjusted. And I take on that new life.
Look, that story was funny last night, but...
Imagine a candle. Those of you who scored less than 10 on the visualization exercise should use a real candle. This will only be necessary for the first few days.
Shit.
After that, you should be able to see the bright magic of the flame in your mind's eye simply by closing your eyes and fixing your gaze at the spot in the center of your forehead. Is your candle lit?
Yes.
Good. Sit 3 feet away from your real or imaginary candle and relax. The flame is soothing to look at. Focus your attention on it while the specially edited Baroque music plays. Now, get ready for a journey to the beach.
Surf's up. What are you doing?
Just trying to improve myself.
By imagining things.
It's a good course. Yesterday, I learned that we only use 1/10 of our brains.
In your case, I'd say that's true.
What's the matter with you? You're very irritable. You're not yourself lately.
It's not me that's changed. When I was young, police work was simple.
You cut plenty of leads.
We don't even know how the skulls were cut. 2 of the apartments were locked from the inside. There's a murderer running around this city who seems to be able to walk through walls.
Inspector Berkeley?
Yes.
I'm a friend of George Barber's. That is, I was a friend.
A friend?
Well, not a friend exactly, more of an acquaintance. We used to talk in the halls about my ideas. I'm the caretaker in his building.
Oh. You're the one who found the body.
You gave a statement.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us?
You don't have to be afraid.
The night before the murder, I was up on the roof. I saw a light.
A light?
Yes,
What sort of light?
in the sky. As it came closer, I saw it was 5 lights in a row, each about 10 feet across.
Are you telling us that you saw a flying saucer?
Yes.
Well,
The Nazis had won World War II. We'd have been ready. Genetic engineering would have given us an advantage. Now they're stealing our brains.
well, thanks very much for the information. We'll get back.
They're gonna kill me.
We'll look into it.
Thank you.
Are you staying?
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
What are they doing?
Building.
Building what?
I'm not sure.
Why don't you ask them?
They wouldn't understand me.
Why not?
Their language only has 3 words.
I know 2 of them.
Slab and block.
What's the third?
Hilarious.
What can you do with that?
Nothing.
Can you have a language with only 3 words?
Some say they were once an advanced civilization. There was a war. Somehow their memories were selectively destroyed. Only 3 words survived. Others say they are a very primitive civilization. They learned their first 2 words by trial and error, and somehow stumbled on the third. A tourist, perhaps. Others say they're an ordinary civilization, but very concise. It would take 50 encyclopedias to translate the meaning of slab and block into our language.
What do you say?
Someone tempered with their brains.
Why?
Some biologists believe that mental processes create a field of information.
I don't understand.
I'm going to kill you in every world.
But I haven't done anything.
You will.
What's that smell?
I'm making coffee.
What time is it?
10.
I don't know what you did to me. I haven't slept like that in years. I've been late at the lab 3 days this week. And when I'm there, I can't concentrate. My colleagues think I've cracked.
How come you have so many stones in your apartment?
My ex-boyfriend left them. He was a sculptor. He brought them in from the sea.
You didn't tell me about him.
We broke up 1 week before I met you.
Were you in love?
We were going to be married.
What happened?
I found out he was seeing someone else at the same time. When I was at the lab, he would bring her here. I don't know how someone can lead 2 different lives. How many lovers have you had?
I could count them on the fingers of one hand.
How many times?
I'm serious. I was married before I was 20.
I love the way you touch me. Are you thinking about her now? You're so passive. Like smoke. I could put my hand through you. See? There's nothing there. Maybe that's why you touch me so lightly.
There's a place I'd like to show you. Near the ocean. It's very secluded. I think you'll understand me better if you come with me.
You really are trying to ruin me, aren't you?
We could have everything,
I don't want everything.
even for a few days.
It's beautiful.
It's not easy to get to. You have to climb out over some rocks. There's a beach.
How did you find it?
My wife used to swim there.
You were talking in your sleep last night.
What'd I say?
Slab and block. Over and over. I'd say you should come into the lab sometime. I could run some tests. I could probably write a paper on you.
Do you miss your work yet?
No.
What's happened to you?
I've gotten lazy. You've affected me.
Well, I'm sure it's only temporary.
Yesterday, some activists broke into the lab.
Where, your lab?
One of my colleagues. I work knowing that every idea I have is about to be thought of by someone else. Or already has been. This morning, when I woke up, I couldn't remember where I was. I haven't felt that kind of exhilaration since I was a child. I would float down at the bottom of the lake, watching the sunlight on the rocks, trying to imagine what it would be like to have gills. I knew one breath would let a whole other world in. I wasn't cut out to be a stockbroker.
What? What did you say?
I said I wasn't cut out to be a scientist. What is it? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, let's go see your beach. I could use a walk.
They found him locked in a freezer. The body shows all the symptoms of having frozen to death.
Yeah?
But there's something strange.
What's that?
He was found lying in a pool of water. So I checked. Turns out the freezer wasn't working properly.
What?
He froze to death at room temperature.
It's nice. Oh, yes, I do.
Pretty, isn't it? You won't believe what Susan said when she was leaving. You remember Susan?
No.
I sold her 1,000 shares of Gentech this morning.
You were talking to her for over an hour this evening. The woman... You haven't heard a word I just said, have you?
Oh, sure I have.
What are you doing? You've been staring at that bowl for 5 minutes.
Comparing it
To what?
itself.
Don't you need something else?
What?
Well, most people, that is on this planet, when they compare a thing, they usually compare it to a second thing. It's a quaint custom we have.
Well, how do you know it's only one thing?
Because my ex gave it to me.
I don't follow.
Well, he would never give me two things without first pointing them both out to me very clearly and then going on about how much they both cost. Therefore, it's one thing.
But it could have been a lot of things.
Sure, it could have been a beach and we could be sitting on it.
And that's what I'm comparing it to.
Right.
I think we should leave tonight.
I don't think so.
Why not? You're overworked as it is. You can afford to take the time off.
It's not work.
What is it?
I'm not happy.
What do you mean? Joyce? Joyce?
At first, it was all very casual and fun. Now, all of a sudden, you're here every night. It's gotten too claustrophobic.
I can give you more freedom. I don't have to come over so often.
It's not just that.
What is it?
It's us. When I imagine us together, I like us. We seem perfect for each other. I always think I'm going to enjoy our times together, but as soon as you're here, there's something missing. I've had a lot of fun with you, but sometimes when you smile, it's aimed a million miles behind me. I had a carefully rehearsed speech. Now I can't seem to remember anything. I'm not doing this very well. The point is, I've met someone.
What?
I've been seeing someone for 3 weeks.
Who?
I met him at work.
He's very different from you. I'm not saying better, but we have a lot of fun together, and he's offered me more.
More what?
More life. Do you need a lift anywhere? It's pouring rain.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry it had to be this way. I didn't have to tell you all this. I could have just stopped answering your calls. But I thought it might help if you knew what I felt. Next time, for your next relationship.
This wasn't a rehearsal.
Please don't.
You were the only one in every world.
I am trying to be rational about
My
this.
love is infinite.
You'll find someone else. There are plenty of...
He's trying to kill me.
Who?
Joyce, please.
Look, you're scaring me. If you don't get out, I'll call the police. I'm warning you.
Please don't.
Get out!
What's the matter, Chief? You've been sitting there for hours. You haven't moved from that chair since lunch.
Suppose a rat had an enemy.
What kind of enemy, Chief? Another rat?
No, like us. A rat could not foresee what its enemy was going to do because it couldn't possibly imagine it. It's limited by the structure of its brain. It can't even form those kind of thoughts. And we're facing the same sort of enemy. I've only got a few more cases to solve. And then I'm going to retire and die. What kind of life is that?
Pension's not bad.
I remember something the scientist said. He said, "Do you think the number 2 didn't exist before we humans found it? Every thought that you can think of, sir, existed before you did. And those thoughts, they affect us. Possibilities swarm about us. They...
This brain seems to be attracting flies. It smells awful. Look at that. Its light went on. What's happening? I think it's trying to signal us.
Don't be ridiculous. It's hungry. It's signaling for food.
How can we help it?
It isn't real, Williams. It's not really hungry.
But she thinks she is. Where are you going? Sorry, Louise, there's nothing I can do.
I don't know how to help you.
Beautiful view, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you been swimming?
Yes, the water's lovely.
How have you been keeping, Joyce?
How do you know my name?
Well, there was a time. It was quite a few years ago.
You do look familiar. I've forgotten your name.
George.
George. Of course. George.
Barber?
George Barber? Of course. We were at Cambridge together.
No.
You weren't at Cambridge?
No.
Well, now you're just keeping me in suspense. How is it I do know you?
We used to live together. We were married once.
I think you're mistaken.
Please don't go. Are you still studying the brain?
Yes.
Well, dating anyone?
Yes, I am, actually. As a matter of fact, he's right here.
Have you found a way to increase intelligence?
How do you know so much about me?
I've always been interested in the brain.
I heard an interesting story about the brain once. A neurotic young man asked the psychologist, how can I find peace of mind? How can you lack anything? Said the psychologist, pointing to his head when you possess the greatest treasure in the universe.
Well, that's very interesting, but I have to go. Look, you have me mixed up with someone else.
Turn around.
No!
Turn
No!
around.
Let go!
Look, look.
No!
Look.
Let go!
You see a mole on your shoulder. I'm not insane.
Help!
No, I'm not trying to hurt you.
Hey! Let go!
I'm not trying to hurt you, Joyce. I loved you. I've always loved you.
Hey!
What happened?
That man, he said he knew me.
Let's go back to the hotel. We'll call the police.
He's on a monitor now.
Sit here.
Right here.
Dr. Kleber's gone for the day. All right.
Well, I can hardly say I have a memory, Doctor.
Why not?
It would be more accurate to say that in the collection of people I call me, a memory occurs.
Do you believe in the soul?
Well, I used to think that there was something extra, something that went along with all the changes, but no, I don't think so.
Why did you attack that woman?
I don't know. I lost control. I regret it.
What do your other selves think about it?
Well, most of them don't know about it. When I believed I had a soul, I was imprisoned in myself. I felt I should be consistent among my lives, but now I realize they're all different, and I can enjoy them all. I mean, if there's a unity that makes them all me, I don't know what it is. This is simply a world where I happen to be a criminal. It's not very important. Have you ever imagined killing someone?
I suppose.
It's about as important as that. Sometimes, when I'm falling asleep, I think I'm floating in the sea, 2 inches below the surface, rocking in the warm salt water like someone who's drowned. The sky above me, it's full of clouds, but they're hard-edged like glass. Whole sky glitters like glass. I close my eyes. I hear voices. I know where I am now. There's only one world. I've been dreaming.
I understand you found the man who killed my husband.
Yes.
Well, that's something, I suppose. But it won't bring him back to life.
He's still alive. We found his brain. Hooked up to a life support system.
I was the 5th girl he'd gone out with. We were very happy. He was going to leave his job at the market for me. I was going to give up my research to travel the world with him. He was the most important thing in the world. He meant everything to me. We fought over the stupidest thing. A man had given me a present.
At some point, you'll have to decide whether to allow the brain to continue.
Thank you.
Dr. Clever says that he was never able to get anything but a rudimentary consciousness going. There is a light that flashes occasionally, but we don't know what it means. Your husband probably isn't aware of who he is. Clever described it as kind of a fluctuating dream state. I'm sure he's still thinking of you somehow.
Must be 1,000 fossils in these rocks. So many failed ideas. You can smell the waste here.
Tomorrow, if it's nice, we'll go swimming.
Sure.
When I was a little girl, I used to think it was a different world I saw under the water.
What kind of world?
I really can't put it into words.
Try.
I cannot. The word not is really magical. I could describe something to you and say, but it's not that. It's something more. And you'd know what I meant. It's a way of getting around our ignorance. It's how they used to describe God. Everything we cannot conceive of. We say things might not have been the way they are and feel free or uneasy. But there's really nothing behind it. Just a bunch of ghostly possibilities. Because in the end, everything simply is. Soon there'll be stars. We'll have to make a wish.
I thought you didn't wish.
Only for what's possible.
Does that include me?
Yes. I couldn't ask for more. Look. What's that light?
Where?
Out there, blinking on and off.
It's a buoy to warn ships.
There couldn't be shoals out that far.
Why not?
No, look, that flash was longer. Someone's trying to signal us.
Are you sure?
What shall we do?
I don't know. We're miles from any phone.
But someone could be drowning out there. What shall we do?
I don't know.
It stopped.